guys, Willie here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're reviewing the all-new 2025 Honda Pilot Elite.
And a big thanks to Carlos and the rest of the management and staff here at Ocean Honda in Port Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to our inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Port Richey, Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And as for Carlos.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Pilot has been Honda's midsize three-row crossover SUV since 2003. The fourth generation Pilot that you see here was released in 2023, and for 2025 we get a couple pretty important changes. The first being Honda dropped the previous base LX trim, making the Sport trim the new base model Pilot with a $2,810 higher base price compared to the 2024 LX. The second change for 2025 Pilot is that the Elite trim now has a trim above it, being the Black Edition, essentially giving us all the features from the Elite but with black rims, black accents, and badges. But here we have the Elite with standard all-wheel drive and a base price of $52,780. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So we get full LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights up top too. Hopefully you pick it up on camera. We get a three-piece LED setup for the headlamps for the high and low beam. Fog light down below, functional airflow in both of the corners in this bumper area. A little bit of shiny chrome outlining it, a little bit of shiny chrome connecting the two headlamps together. And that's a subtle difference that you'll get on the Black Edition. All this shiny chrome trim will be blacked out, but the actual features themselves are just about the exact same as what we have here. So if you're more into chrome compared to black trim, you definitely prefer this less expensive Pilot Elite. We get a forward-facing camera with a washer. The Honda badge houses your advanced safety features, ton of airflow for the radiator for this 3.5-liter V6. We get full front parking sensing, two 360-degree camera if we didn't mention, 20-inch rims. They're gunmetal gray and silver contrast. The Black Edition will have all black 20-inch rims wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza Sport all-season tires. The dimensions are 255/50 R20, so the 50 series sidewall should definitely keep the ride quality nice and plush, and the 255 wide tires with the all-wheel drive system will of course have no problem putting the power to the ground. We get some flat black trim for the wheel well areas and rocker panel side skirt that'll help you out with rock chips if you take this all-wheel drive SUV off-road. The mirror caps are two-tone contrasted. We have an LED turn signal on it. We have blind spot monitoring on the glass, shiny chrome for the bottom part of the window trim, but all blacked out up top. I kind of wish they blacked out the entire window trim, but if you want it all blacked out, you can just go for the Black Edition. We get 4-door smart access. Hopefully you guys can pick up at least something on this window sticker. I know it's going to be tough because of the glare. But 2025 Honda Pilot all-wheel drive Elite with the platinum white pearl metallic exterior, black interior, standard features. I mean, hopefully you guys can pick up at least something. Options, the only option we have here is this platinum white pearl metallic, the $52,780 base price. After a $1,395 destination charge, we're sitting at $54,630. 21 combined MPGs, 19 in the city, 25 on the highway. Sorry about that, guys. With the angle that this vehicle's parked, not very easy to pick up the window sticker. I'll take a step back though. Hopefully you guys can pick up the side profile on this pretty large three-row mid-size crossover SUV. Up top you get blacked out roof rails and a moonroof, specific to the Elite trim, at least as part of a standard feature. We get a shark fin style antenna out rear. The gas cap is push to open with easy fill. You can throw regular fuel in here for this 3.5-liter V6. We get the same rear wheel and tire setup. The only difference is a smaller brake caliper. We get more of that flat black trim for the rear wheel wells connecting to the rear bumper. Full rear parking sensing, chrome outlines for the exhaust tips, chrome all-wheel drive, chrome Elite, blacked out Pilot badge in the center with a chrome Honda badge right up top. LED third brake light, full LED taillights, turn signals, and the reverse light, all LEDs. Rear view camera, shout out Ocean Honda in Port Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. We have black outline for the rear spoiler and a little bit of gray trim for the center of the diffuser area. We mentioned the chrome outlines for the exhaust tips. They're not functional, but they do look pretty premium. The actual exhaust tips are right down below in the corner. Hopefully you can pick them up on camera with the spare tire in the center. But speaking of the exhaust tips, let's fire up this 3.5-liter V6 and here she sounds. All right, guys, that was the sound of the 3.5 liter V6 sold by Honda for the 2025 Pilot Elite. And it sounds pretty good, cranking out 285 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive system. You can expect this mid-size 3-row SUV to get to 60 between 6 and 6.5 seconds, making it a no-joke performer. What you see is basically what we get. No hydraulic struts, unfortunately, for a top Elite trim starting over 50,000 bucks. Hydraulic struts would be appreciated. But shutting this hood right down, this white metallic paint is absolutely beautiful. Hopefully you pick up the sparkles in the Florida sun. But taking a step back, we can walk around this 2025 Pilot Elite one more time. And let's take a step inside and see what we get with a top Elite trim. If I didn't mention, we get an additional camera on the mirror to help us out with the 360, 4-door smart access. Taking a step inside, I accidentally just locked the doors by pressing this top little notchy button, but put my hand right here, door opens right up. So first thing I noticed is the soft touch material for the upper part of the door panel, a little bit of faux aluminum separating it with some faux carbon underneath it. Soft touch for the center, gushy soft for the armrest, 4-window auto one touch. Power folding mirrors, 4-way adjustable, 2 tiers of storage, just hard plastic, but you can fit quite a bit of stuff. You'll fit a foot long with no problem. You'll stack 2 foot longs in the slower tier. You'll throw a maybe 12-ounce water bottle here with a big gulp right behind it. 2-person memory seats. The seats are beautiful, genuine leather, perforated, heated, and ventilated, well bolstered. You have 2-way lumbar control. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the front seats. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start, stop, and everything fires right to life. But first thing we notice, nothing's changed compared to the previous 2023 or 2024 Pilot Elite, but it really doesn't need to change. This is a super premium interior. We have the Bose 12-speaker audio system. We have a 12.2-inch digital gauge display, 9-inch touchscreen, dual-zone automatic climate control, heated and ventilated seats, a massive panoramic moonroof. But other than that, steering wheel's thick. We get subtle 10 and 2 bolstering notch, 9 and 3 feels really good in your hands. Paddle shifters for the 10-speed auto, volume and skip, voice commands. On the right side, you have the adjustments for the radar cruise control, lane keep assist, and the regular cruise control adjustments as well. Heated steering wheel, rubberized horn area, the horn itself, loud and aggressive. People should be definitely getting out of your way. We'll do a window check, see if we get dual panes. We do get dual panes, nice premium touch for the Elite. I believe the Touring and the Elite and the new Black Edition are the only trims with dual pane windows. I believe anything below a Trail Sport does not get them. Anyway, the stocks have a really satisfying click, auto headlamps, auto high beams, fog lights, and auto rain sensing wipers. Hopefully you pick it up on camera. We get a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. It's not power tilt and telescoping. Got to go up to Acura if you want to get a tilt and telescoping vehicle with this 3.5 liter V6. Hopefully you get a good look at the pedals. Heated windshield, traction control. You can open up the lift gate too. Some piano black outlining the air vent controls, all soft touch for the dashboard. We get a heads-up display too on the Elite trim. You get it for the Elite and the Black Edition. 10.2-inch infotainment system. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. You can configure it between back, phone, FM, AM, Sirius XM, USB, Bluetooth apps, and the overall customizations for the display. Cool. My personal favorite screen to look at all times would probably just be the song that's currently playing, so we will leave it there. Let's definitely turn the sound down so we don't get hit with copyright, but hopefully you can pick up the digital gauge display. Digital speedo in the center, tach goes to about 6,500, speedo goes to 140. You have your gas level on the right side, and you have your coolant temperature on the left with a total mileage down below. Mode we're currently in 2. Anyway, engine start stop. You mentioned the 9-inch touchscreen. This is the home screen. We get navigation, of course, for the Elite. The display itself and the response itself for the screen, as you see, isn't quite up to par compared to some of the competition, but it's definitely good enough. And if you have a problem with the factory display that you get from Honda, you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can just use that if you prefer. You get a trip computer too. Hopefully you can pause, take a look at everything this infotainment system has available. Cool. My personal favorite screen would still be the navigation, so we'll leave it there. Hazards beneath it, 2 more air vents, dual zone automatic climate control with a separate climate control for the rear, heated and ventilated seats. We'll turn these ventilated seats down a little bit in case they're a little bit noisy. You can control your rear climate as we mentioned. You could probably stack 2 cigarette packs on top of each other, or you can stack 3 iPhones, USB-A and C port, 12 volt, 180 watt, wireless phone charger with pretty decent amount of storage right next to it. The gear selector controls a 10-speed auto. The backup camera, let's check it out. High resolution guidance lines and trajectory with an over-the-top 360. You can check out a different view for the over-the-top 360 if you liked it for one reason or another, but this is my personal favorite screen to leave it at, so we'll leave it there. Throwing it back into park, and we'll return right back to our home screen. We get drive and sport mode for the transmission. Speaking of sport mode, the drive mode selector is right behind it. Right now we're in normal mode. We also have econ, snow, trail, sand, and tow, as well as sport. We'll start the review off in normal, try out sport, maybe try out econ too and just see what the differences are. Auto engine start stop we can disable, hill descent control, electronic parking brake with brake hold. 2 cup holders, you'll fit 32 ounce to big gulp size bottles in there. Very large with these pushy things to keep the drinks in place. Pass through, nice for a phone or a wallet. Just hard plastic for your knee will often hit. Got to go up to Acura to get softer materials there. The armrest itself for the center console is nice and gushy, soft, white contrast stitching. The space is massive. You're fitting probably 7 or 8 1-liter bottles of soda in there. You'll fit some coins too. No pen slots, unfortunately, but you'll fit so much in that center console. We have like a faux 2-tier glove box area. Kind of reminds me of what you would get from a Toyota 4Runner. You'll probably fit a pair of shoes in this top tier. Leather stitching in front of it. The glove box is damped, not lined and felt. It's decently spacious. You'll fit another pair of shoes in there. Not sure if it's deep enough to fit license plates, but if it was deep enough to fit license plates height-wise, you'll fit 20 to 25 of them. Frameless, auto-dimming rearview mirror, 3 garage HomeLink settings on it. The interior lights are LED. We mentioned the massive panoramic moonroof. There we go, the shade opens up completely. You'll see if the glass goes out any further once the shade is tucked away. Okay, nope, so that's as far as it goes, but well into the second row, massive opening. We can poke our way out of here. Beautiful day today in Port Richey, Florida, sunny and 75 degrees, according to this 2024 Pilot Elite. We'll shut this roof right up, leave the shade open so when we hop out back, you guys can see how much light is brought into the cabin, but that's about it for the front seat. Pretty sure I mentioned the 12-speaker Bose premium audio system, and it sounds really good here as well. Taking a step out back, we'll see how much space is offered back there, as well as the overall quality of the materials. All right, now that it's unlocked, we can take a step back here. We get a sunshade, all hard plastic materials though. All Pilots get hard plastic in the rear, regardless of the trim. It's soft touch in the center though, gushy soft armrest, auto one touch window, aluminum door handle, 2 Bose speakers on the door panel, and 2 tiers of storage. You'll stack 2 footlongs on top of each other. You'll fit a 6-inch sub and a 24-ounce water bottle with a 32-ounce in front of it. The seats, we don't get captain's chairs, but I prefer it this way. You'll fit an extra adult, and the seats are manually adjusted individually from each other. You can recline them and you can slide them back and forth, which helps us out with the third row. The third row seat appears to be up, so we're not gonna have to go back there and cut. But anyway, taking a step into the second row, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings. Right now I have about 5-6 inches of knee room. We can slide the seat back even further. Now I have like 10 inches to a foot of knee room. Headroom, I have about 2-3 inches of it. We can recline the seat back. And when I'm fully reclined, I got about a foot of headroom and still plenty of room for my knees. This is a really comfortable back seat. And these leather seats that we get in the Elite trim are probably the most comfortable seats you can get from the Honda lineup. This Pilot has a pretty advanced map pocket system too. There's 2 map pockets in this big area and an additional one up top for both of the seat backs. We had air vents, third zone climate control, 2 heated second row seats, 2 USB-C ports, and a 115 volt, 150 watt AC outlet. More air vents down below for the feet. The lights back here, right over here, are LED. We get hooks for both of the grab handles. Ton of light brought into the cabin thanks to this massive panoramic moonroof. The armrest back here, to access it, you got to pull this latch down. It's not the easiest process with one hand, but we figured it out. It's gushy soft. You'll fit 16-ounce water bottles, pass through, perfect for a phone or a wallet. And this little area is also perfect for a phone or a wallet. To lift this back up, you got to pull the latch. This is also really tough with one hand, but again, as we said before, we figured it out. Taking a step out towards the third row, let's see how much space is offered back there, as well as the overall quality of those materials. So overall process of hopping into the third row, very simple for a mid-size 3-row SUV. And with the seat all the way back, I have about an inch of knee room, and that's with the second row passenger having borderline Mercedes S-Class worth of space. So this seat can slide forward. I fit comfortably back here without the seat sliding forward. So for long trips, like, I'm perfectly fine back here. I would appreciate a little bit of courtesy from the second row passenger and scoot up about an inch, maybe 2. But other than that, headroom, I have at least 2-3 inches of it. If you're under 6'4", you'll fit in the third row of the Pilot with no problem. This is probably the most spacious mid-sized 3-row SUV from a third row perspective. We get an additional air vent too, USB-C port, 2 cup holders. You'll fit a big gulp with a 24-ounce bottle in front of it. Same thing on the opposite side. We have an additional speaker in our subwoofer in the lower right corner. That's about it though, guys, for the third row. Pushing the seat forward, additional air vent blowing at our feet. Hopping out of here, just about as easy as hopping in. Definitely one of the easiest processes out of all the mid-sized 3-row SUVs I reviewed in this channel. The cargo space, we'll see how it is with the third row up and with the third row down. I like how the trunk gives you a couple seconds to get out of the way so you don't have to worry about getting doofed in the face. All of the floor mats are in the way, but hopefully you can pick up how much space you would have back here behind the third row. Secret storage, if you want to keep your third row permanently up, you get a ton of it. You'll fit 3 backpacks in here, probably 2 carry-on suitcases with a spare tire underneath. So if you have the third row seats permanently up, I'd recommend removing this little cargo tray permanently, but if you don't have the third row seats up, I'd recommend just leaving the flat floor. We'll drop this third row down, the headrest falls automatically, and hopefully you have a good idea of how much space is back here with the second row up. I'll leave a link, show you how much space is back here exactly with the third row up, third row down, and with the second row down. But for the most part, what you see is basically what we get. The height for the step-in is about 5-6 inches above my knee, so if you have older or smaller pets, they shouldn't have the toughest time hopping back here. To shut the trunk or lift gate, it gives you a couple seconds to get out of the way, so again, you don't have to worry about getting doofed in the head, but that's about it for the inside and outside of this all-new 2025 Honda Pilot Elite. It is a really, really well-loaded luxury 3-row SUV. Every feature you could possibly want or need. There are some compromises in cost-cutting measures. You see it in the back seat, you see it a little bit in the third row, but considering the space, considering the features, power, performance, standard all-wheel drive, and speaking of performance, let's take this 2025 Honda Pilot Elite out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2025 Honda Pilot Elite. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions, starting off in normal mode, the steering is just about non-existently light. Basically a characteristic from just about every Pilot that I've reviewed on this channel, even the previous generation. The Pilot's always been about just about effortless steering feel. Same thing with the Acura MDX. But taking a step out here, lean into it about a third of the way down. Wow, okay, so the low end torque, not a whole lot. It has really good throttle response, and it has really good mid-range above 3,500 RPM, but between about 1,500 and 3,500, you're not gonna feel a whole lot. But after 3,500, this thing absolutely rips. Above 5,000 RPM, typical with Honda engines, this thing is a screamer. We already reviewed a 2024 Passport and 2024 Ridgeline on this channel, and every time I drive this 3.5, I say the same thing. This thing is really powerful and probably underrated. Throttle response is great, but right here, once you cross 3,500 RPM, you start to really feel an increase in power. We'll slow down a little bit, lean into it about halfway. Good torque. Whew, crossing about 4,000, the power gets really good. And still in normal mode, steering is just about non-existent. It's so light, but it's really quiet in here. You don't hear road noise, you don't hear wind noise. Let's throw it into sport real quick. Brakes feel good. We'll try out a turning radius test, see if we can make it without going into reverse. Looks like we can, and taking a step out here. Wow, and you hit the bumps, you feel nothing. Steering gets a tiny bit heavier in sport, not a whole lot. Try out the paddles, 4th gear, 3rd gear, on the gas. Woo! It is a screamer up top. One more time, slow down. On the gas. Yeah, once you cross about 3,500 RPM, this thing is really, really quick. Throwing it a little bit quicker than we should. Yeah. Very torquey. You don't have to beat up a whole lot further. We'll throw it back into normal mode. Hopefully you picked up just how quick this SUV can be. I feel like the Passport and the Ridgeline both felt a tiny bit quicker. Maybe it has something to do with the 9-speed transmission versus the 10-speed. But I think this 3-row Pilot just weighs a little bit more. But it still feels plenty quick. We'll try one out off the line. On the gas. Good response. Yeah, it's quick. Definitely quick. I could see 0 to 60 in the low to mid 6-second range. Another thing I'm noticing, I believe these new Pilots get cylinder deactivation. So as soon as you let off of that throttle, it becomes unbelievably quiet. All right, guys, taking a step out here. Throttle response is really good in normal mode. The steering is really light either way, so I'd recommend probably just leaving it in normal mode for daily driving. Sport is cool. It makes the throttle a little bit sensitive. It makes the steering at least feel like there's something there, but for the most part, I'd recommend leaving it in normal mode. Taking a step out here at about half throttle. We catch up to traffic really quickly. Hopefully you pick up not only how much power is here, just how effortless the power delivery is in this SUV. You can slow down a little bit, try some highway passing power on the gas. Ooh, good torque. We don't have to beat it up a whole lot further. Let's actually turn around, try a real world highway turning radius test, and then take this car back to Ocean Honda. And again, huge thanks to them for helping make this review possible. As soon as this guy passes, turning radius, hopefully you can pick up just how sharp, about half throttle. So smooth, and I really like the way this V6 sounds. You look down, you're going a lot quicker than you think you are. That's because of just how good the ride quality is here and how unbelievable the isolation is from the road. These tires allow 0 road noise. These dual pane windows take away just about every hint of wind noise. If that's what you're looking for, guys, but you're not looking to spend more than $50,000 to $55,000, you need all-wheel drive. You don't want to have anything to do with a turbo. You want an upgraded sound system, good quality materials, and ventilated seats. I would 100% recommend checking out the 2024 Honda Pilot Elite, or check out the new Black Edition. For an extra $1,000 or so, you can get a really cool looking vehicle, especially if you're not all into the shiny chrome. And a big thanks to Carlos and the rest of the management and staff here at Ocean Honda in Port Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Port Richey area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Carlos. And a huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too, it really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment, let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.